Mr. President, my next question will be about relations with Iran. I believe that your views on this issue might be interesting to everyone. Recently, in the last few years, Iranian-Azerbaijani relations have been going through ups and downs. Sometimes this country exhibits incomprehensible behavior towards Azerbaijan, which causes certain tensions between the two countries. Just a few days ago, the Foreign Ministry of Azerbaijan expressed its protest to the Iranian side regarding another manifestation of such behavior. I would like to know your assessment of the current Azerbaijani-Iranian relations and what policy you expect from the current Iranian leadership in the future.
It is a bit early to talk about this, because we have not had any serious contacts with the current Iranian leadership yet. There have been certain contacts between members of the government. They were more related to economic and transport issues. The issues that, in principle, are separate from our political agenda. We never mix them. Again, the deterioration of our relations with the previous government was not our fault. I simply want to recall some points. After the end of the Second Karabakh War, when we secured visual observation of the Lachin Road, we began to see that fuel trucks from Iran were regularly making trips to Karabakh from Armenia. I instructed my assistant, and he spoke to the then Iranian ambassador to Azerbaijan on the phone, and asked him to stop this. We don't want to make this public, so we are asking you to stop. This is not good. We are seeing this, and this is our territory. You are doing illegal things here. Unfortunately, this did not stop after that, and only intensified. Then, as a second step, we invited the Iranian ambassador to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and gave him a note of protest and made this public. This was followed by both funny and sad developments. Fake Armenian license plates were pasted on Iranian fuel trucks, as if they were Armenian, but there were also Persian inscriptions on them. This surprised us very much, and we started investigating. We saw that the same license plate was attached to several vehicles. That is, the number was the same, but the vehicles were different. In other words, this fraud was so sloppy that one is truly lost for words. After that, we stopped a vehicle. The drivers were stopped, and we saw that their travel document states Stepanakert, Armenia. In other words, this was a clear disrespect for our territorial integrity and sovereignty. After that, the well-known steps towards intimidation, exercises, statements, and threats against us began. We also took commensurate steps. If any training, military training, is held on our border, we did the same on this side of the Azerbaijani-Iranian border. In other words, we showed that we are not afraid of anyone, and that we are the right side. At the same time, this was accompanied by a campaign of insults in the press, because this, apparently, is the style of work of some ruling circles. In fact, insults are a symbol of powerlessness. If you cannot achieve something, I mean people who are rude, they resort to insults. The one using insults actually insults himself. Then came the news of the settlement of the issue by Iran and other reports. Then an act of terror was committed against our embassy. It was an organized terrorist act. There were many factors that gave grounds to say this. First, for about 40 minutes, not a single police car approached the building, although this was happening in the center of the capital. The person who committed the terror was declared mentally ill immediately the next day. However, any medical examination takes several days. This person appeared in the press on the very day he committed the terror and gave interviews. 2 years have passed since the incident. To this day, that person has not been made to undergo the sentence handed down in relation to him. All this shows that it was organized. It was a show of weakness, and the Azerbaijani side also took adequate steps. You know that we recalled all our embassy employees, and only when we were officially promised. The late Iranian foreign minister, Mr. Abdullahian, who died in a helicopter crash, came here and promised to me that the person would be sentenced to death. We returned the embassy employees, but they deceived us again, because this death sentence was not executed. The case was sent back to court for investigation. In other words, this was an incomprehensible act at the state level, and we insist on our demands. We know that death sentences in Iran are pronounced for less serious crimes, and are immediately executed. But here, 2 years later, not only has it not been carried out, the case has actually been sent back for further investigation. So this is one side of the issue. It is difficult to analyze the relations with the new government because I have not personally met with the new president. If and when it happens, then I can talk about it. As for the provincial mullah's hateful attitude towards us, this is not the first time. That mullah from the city of Ardabil has repeatedly used insulting expressions against Azerbaijan, the Azerbaijani people, including me. The question here is what the attitude of the person who appointed him to that position is. After all, he did not come and sit there on his own. We know very well who appointed him. What is his reaction? Does he support this or not? And who will apologize to Azerbaijan? Will they apologize or not? The regret in the statement of the Iranian Foreign Ministry is not enough. There was an open insult. Both the presidents of Turkey and Azerbaijan are peoples, and during a live broadcast at an official event, and only regret. This, of course, is unacceptable. Therefore, we believe that the provincial mullah should be punished. At the very least, he should be dismissed from his post and made to apologize to Azerbaijan. This is the point.
Və Azərbaycandan üzr istəməlidir. Bax, məsələ bundadır.
Çox sağ olun.